Hang on a sec. What's going on here? Okay. Yeah, camera didn't want to work. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me today. Hope you are all well. Who have we got in the house at the moment? We've got Josephine. Hello, Josephine. Gemma not going to join us, but thank you for the comment. And Jonathan, how you doing, brother? Good to see you. Links in the chat there, guys. If anyone wants to join me, you are most welcome. So I thought we could talk about well, actually, last time we were talking about developing like hard diets. I'm being on it, growing up on a soft diet, for example, can destroy your or can shrink the airways and distort your breathing, and also give you a smaller jaw and so on. But it's also, hey Josephine, thanks for joining me. It's also something that you see later on in life as well. You won't get the same jaw development, like, or restriction, or like your jaw won't actually downsize, but you do get weaker bones, weaker jaws, and you do get airway restriction still, even though you are even if you have a fully developed jaw and skull and so on. Later on in life, if you go to a soft diet later in years, you will still it's just the same old saying, like, use it or lose it, if you put on a lot of weight as well, such as if you get obese, for example, you get a fat neck and so on, that will actually restrict your airways as well. And it's the same thing for bodybuilders. If they are overdeveloped in their throat, in their neck, okay, that can also restrict your airways and affect the way you breathe. But also going to a soft diet, a soft food diet later on in life. Now, again, I think is another reason for, the tooth decay and things like that as well. I mean, obviously there's a lot of other things involved there, but the fact that they get weaker jaws, weaker bones, and so on because they have a softer diet. So this can be a very much a degenerative thing as well, because health is it's not a one and done sort of deal. It's an ongoing lifestyle thing, that you need to keep up for basically the duration that you are here, I guess. So these are some things to think about. So I didn't actually put that so much in the article that I wrote about the Substack. It was more about development, but yeah, that's one of those things that we should always think about as well as we get older and as we start to degenerate. These are things that contribute to our aging process. Of course, there are other things that, being on a diet that requires a lot of chewing. Obviously, talking about meat and talking about stem cell health and so on as well. But of course, the proper breath work also helps with that. It's not just when it comes to the length of your telomeres and really stimulating healthy mitochondria and stem cell release and so on. Breath work and the way you breathe is also a very big part of that. Especially things with like nitric oxide is actually quite a big one. So, hey, Jonathan, it's good to see you, my man. And Josephine, thank you for joining me. So yeah, I just wanted to clear that up and add that to the article as well, because I think it's very important as we get older. You don't want it to degenerate so fast. So because I've had actually recently a lot of people around me in their older years are telling me they're jealous that they can't eat a big steak like I do. And they'll say, oh, because their jaw is soft, or because they can't chew that much. But I mean, that's the reason they can't. the reason they can't chew so well is because they have not done it for so long. So it's one of these important things. It's part of degeneration. My daughter asked why her teeth are going yellowish and plaquey and how to get rid of it. And barbecue and eating lots of meat, barbecue to get the cold bits. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, barbecue lots of meat. Yep, definitely. Charcoal is good for brushing your teeth. I mean, I don't think you really need anything really except water. Even just brushing your teeth with water, I've found to be just as effective. Honestly, I've tried it with different toothpaste, and I've even used whitening toothpaste, and even when I started getting rid of all the chemical sort of toothpaste, and I went to fluoride-free toothpaste and so on. I don't see any difference to just brushing your teeth with water. Honestly, I've tried coconut oil used with mint leaf and stuff like that. If you want to have better breath, like you can just chew on a mint leaf, for example. And I mean, you don't need to swallow it; just chew it and get the mint oil for your breath. But generally speaking, I don't feel any difference at all to just using water. I'm lucky too. The only water I have is collected from rainwater tanks, collected in tanks, and it's filtered. So, there's a good positive for me anyway. But I've used charcoal before. I've used let me see, what else is there? Coconut oil. I've used fluoride-free toothpaste, and I mean, there's all kinds of things that people are using these days to try and get away from the chemical sort of toothpaste. But honestly, just water, and if you want minty breath, just chew on a mint leaf. It's very effective, just as effective I found anyway. Yeah, all the bread and crap, duck food, because of bad teeth. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Soft food diets, processed foods, and of course sugar, and soft drinks, soda drinks, and so on. Just all the crap chemicals that people are eating and drinking these days. So yeah, and that will really age your teeth too. I mean, there's a number of reasons why you get yellow teeth as well. It's not just from the food. Like if you brush too hard, for example, which is a problem I've always had. I'm very aggressive when I brush my teeth. I don't know what it is. I just like really grind in there. But sometimes you can actually brush the enamel off your teeth, okay, and that will give you that yellowing, or because the enamel's gone, or the initial enamel's gone from your teeth, they will yellow very easily, very quickly. Coffee, tea is another thing as well. I used to when I was younger, I used to drink oolong tea. Oolong tea is very good for many reasons. I think it's very high in caffeine and so on, but that will really yellow your teeth very quickly, and it's very difficult to actually get that off your teeth. So you can imagine what that might be doing to your insides as well. These things will really tea, coffee, oolong tea especially is very strong for marking your teeth. But again, as well, brushing too hard, too often as well will brush the enamel off your teeth and give you that yellowing effect as well. I think Rick uses tallow. Yeah, that's another good. Yeah, and bicarb soda. Yeah, bicarb soda is another one I've used as well. Actually, when I first came out of the hospital from the bicarb soda is actually a really good mouthwash. Actually, it was one of the mouthwashes the hospital used to give me because I had so many ulcers from the chemotherapy. I had like so many ulcers in there. My whole mouth was kind of swollen, kind of looked kind of really weird. But it was, help numb the pain and clean the ulcers, they gave me a bicarb soda with a bit of mint in a mouthwash. It was very effective and very good, actually. Another thing I've also tried. Actually, I do have a mix sometimes that I do use. Also, I still rely sometimes at bicarb soda, a bit of mint leaf, and salt. Salt's also very good because it's quite abrasive. Along with the bicarb soda. So it's actually very good, very effective way to brush your teeth as well. And again, also a very good mouthwash. Actually, help kill all the germs and so on in your mouth. So that's another thing, another good sort of mouth hygiene sort of thing to do. Actually, I kind of forgot about that actually, but it's actually very good, very effective. I found it very effective actually. So. Yeah, I've never used tallow though. Actually, yeah. But yeah, if Rick's he uses that stuff for everything, so must be pretty good. And he's never had a tooth problem, so must be doing something right. Yeah. Oh, cool, man. Yeah, it'd be good to see you. I'll pop on shortly, anytime, mate. So yeah, I suppose that's one of the difficult things that people go through at the moment as well, isn't it? They looking for mouth hygiene and tooth hygiene and looking after their teeth and so on. I mean, eating meat is also pretty good. Like you kind of, except for you might need to floss afterwards to get the meat between your teeth and so on. But like going back to before the agricultural revolution, we never had dentists 12 15,000 years ago, and they have much better skulls, much stronger skulls than what we do today, with still a full row of teeth. I think it's only when you have gaps, because before I had two teeth removed because of chemotherapy, I never had any gaps in my teeth. They were very tightly packed, and I never really needed to floss much. I couldn't actually floss properly anyway because it would always break because my teeth were so tight together. But there are, natural things that we can do also to for mouth hygiene and looking after our teeth. Apple cider vinegar is actually not a bad idea either. You could brush your teeth with that, and it's quite kind of a strong sort of scent to it. So you might want to put a mint leaf or something afterwards, but it can be quite abrasive, good for you and good for cleaning and so on, and kill germs, or gargle with mix with a bit of water and gargle perhaps. Like I said before, that also the bicarb soda and mint with a bit of salt, also very good. Great for gargling and clean, sort of keep the hygiene anyway, and also very good for any kind of ulcers or sores that you might have in your mouth as well. But also good for brushing your teeth. But at the moment, really, all I do is just brush with water. And if I do go out somewhere or want to freshen up my breath a bit, a mint leaf is pretty good to chew on. Yeah, I love barbecue too. Barbecue meat has the best flavor, don't you think? Like, actually, when I was last year, when I was at in New Zealand with Bart K, they did a great barbecue smoking. Now, I really don't generally like smoked meats, honestly, but they had this mix of pine and stuff like that mixed in this smoker. Oh, I gotta tell you, it was the best smoked meats I've ever had, and very tender too. It was really good. I'm just gonna swap cameras. Just give me a sec, guys. I'll see if this is gonna work because it didn't work before. Maybe it's not plugged in properly. Let's see what that does. For some reason, a good camera is not working. Just give me a sec, guys. I'll be with you in a sec. That camera doesn't look very good. But let's see. No, I'll just have to swap it back, I guess. All right, I'm back. That did nothing. I'll have to fix that later. All right. Yeah. But he made fantastic smoked meat. Generally speaking, though, barbecue, I just find it to be the best flavored meats. It's the best way to cook meat. Only problem is cleaning up the barbecue afterwards, But it's on an iron grill, flame grill, tastes fantastic. Especially if you got like a wood fire or wood barbecue. I think it's better than a gas barbecue. Just lots of nice flavor. And I'll just catch up with a couple of these comments. Oh, I missed one from Juliet. Hello, Juliet. How you doing? Good to see you. Good morning. 3 a.m. Wow, that's up early. So I might doze back to sleep, but I wanted to catch some. I did see Jonathan, Julie, and just good to see you, Juliet. I hope you do get back to sleep. 3 a.m. is a bit early. Yeah, mint leaf's a good idea. I quite I don't mind that. It gives you that nice minty sort of fresh feeling, and you just chew it and then you can sort of spit it out, and so on. It feels good. And Laney, good to see ya. Yeah, listening, but getting sorted. Fair enough. Having 2 of grandchildren today. Oh, that'll keep you on your toes. Very good. Well, I hope you have a good day, Laney. Good morning, Graham. How you doing, mate? It's been a while. I haven't seen you for ages. I'm good. Good. At work. Okay. Thanks for those breathing techniques. Appreciate your contribution to the help. Oh yeah. With your adrenals and cortisol issues, very good. It is a process, mate, and it's taken a bit of time. Well, I'm glad you're on the mend, mate. I'm glad you're healing. That's good. But like I said, it always takes time. You got to get on the you got to keep going though. Otherwise, you don't get anywhere. There are, other things. Breathwork is great, especially for helping you with adrenals and cortisol issues, and it's mostly a nervous system thing. It's very easy to get out of whack with your nervous system, and you get panic attacks, and you get stressed, and so on and so on. Breathwork is the quickest way to sort of access that, and to try and to activate your vagus nerve and calm everything down a bit. And some of the more relaxation sort of breathwork techniques are best suited for someone like that. Like the 1 breath, for example, or like 4-7-8 breathing, and Nadi Shodhana, and even like the 1 breath what I did was all box breathing. You can do it shorter than that. You don't have to do down to 1 breath, even if you do like 2 or 3 breaths per minute in box breathing. It's a very good way to calm your nervous system. Cold showers are great too, but and ice baths are great, but these are things that you should build up to as well, because it can be quite a shock to your system. Okay, and that will kind of put you into that elevated sort of sympathetic nervous state. But if you do start with mild temperatures and then gradually get down to cold and colder and colder, because that will train your nervous system to react properly with stresses. And it's a good idea when you start doing cold temperatures, to remember to breathe properly. Make sure that you only breathe through the nose, and relax your breathing so that you breathe, say, or even a box breathing, or 4-7-8 breathing is great while you're doing the while you're doing cold shower or ice bath, because that will calm your nervous system, and that will train your nervous system to deal with the stress. And the more you do that, every time you do get stressed, okay, it trains your nervous system. Okay, like, we're in a stressful situation. This is how we deal with it. We breathe, we relax, stay calm, and everything. Honestly, everything after that, you just feel so much more relaxed about it. You know. So I'm glad to see you on the mend, mate. And really good to hear from you too. Been a while, been a long time. So does take a long time to heal, though. It does, my friend. It does, my friend. Yeah, long to heal, but recovery is going better. That's good. Can't pop in, but nice seeing you. Yeah, thanks, Graham. I really appreciate it dropping by, mate. It's good to hear from you. Hey, Juliet, can't sleep. Howdy. I actually fell asleep quite early, so a full 6 hours and popped awake. Yeah, fair enough. Well, that's good. It's good. I think you feel much better when you sleep earlier. There's been a number of studies on this as well. There's actually a lot of German literature came out, in the 90s actually, um, studying the effects of sleep before midnight and afterwards and so on. But they concluded that in pretty much all of them, they concluded that the hours between 8 and 12 are your most important for sleep. And every hour between that time, between 8 p.m. and 12 a.m., each hour is like sleeping like to your body. It is like getting 2 hours of sleep. So even if you slept from 8 till 12, it's going to feel like an 8-hour sleeping cycle, you know? So the earlier you go to bed, the earlier you get up. It's actually a really good, clean way to live. And it's something that I noticed when I was actually feeling this when I was going through the earthquake in Japan, because we had no electricity or power or anything. So there was no lights, or everything was completely dark, except the only thing that we had sort of waking us up was, apart from the aftershocks and earthquakes and the all the emergency sirens and so on, when we could sleep, it actually felt pretty good, because there was no unnatural light. As soon as it got dark, we pretty much just slept, and then as soon as it was daylight again, we were up with the light, Um, I mean, we were up several times through the night because of everything going on, of course. But generally speaking, that actually felt really good, you know. And that's something that has stuck with me for a long time. And it's something I even now, like, generally speaking, I like to have my cycle. I will sleep between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. Generally speaking. Sometimes I'm up later, but not often. And I usually like to get up about 4 a.m. in the morning. So it's a really good way to. It just makes me feel much better to sleep at least 3 to 4 hours before midnight. So it's very good for your cycles, actually. Very good. DC, a friend in the community mentioned she was going to try breathwork techniques due to asthma. Oh, okay, yep. I told her to watch you on replay. Will the breathwork help with asthma? Absolutely. Especially, in fact, some of the techniques I've actually been writing about on my Substack are actually designed for asthma. Okay. Buteyko methods, for example, or what we call like breath restriction. Okay. So not so much deep breathing, but restrictive breathing. So it's really about slow breathing. Okay, because asthma basically is not a lack of oxygen; it's a lack of CO2. That's what causes it. That's what it causes, because the bronchioles in the lungs can't relax, and therefore they can't exhale the old air and breathe in new air. Okay, like and the air is not getting to the cells simply because there's not enough CO2 to deliver the oxygen to the bronchioles in the lungs. Okay, so it's really a lack of CO2. But Dr. Konstantin Buteyko actually developed this Buteyko restricted breathing techniques specifically for asthmatics, okay? Because he had a similar problem when he was growing up as well. So, I mean, I've been writing about this on the Substack, so you can read a lot about that stuff there. But generally speaking, slow breathing so that you can build a CO2 levels up and also develop your CO2 tolerance. It doesn't have to be deep breathing at all. Okay, in fact, lower volume has shown to improve the CO2 tolerance and improve their breathing methods for asthmatics. So if you have of course, all these breathing techniques should be done only through the nose, only breathe in and out through the nose. Even if you are active, okay. What else is there? Box breathing is a great idea. 4-7-8, Nadi Shodhana. You can do shorter inhales, okay, so you don't inhale too much air, okay. Are we still back? Are we still here? Okay. Just let me know if there's or if you can anyway, if I'm still here. So like shorter inhales, longer exhales, for example. These are techniques that I usually like to stick, people with anyway, except for box breathing, which is an even inhale, exhale sort of thing. But when we do the Nadi Shodhana, for example, 4-7-8 is another one. But Jonathan is joining us. G'day, brother. How are you doing?
Hello. I'm very far in, aren't I?
How you doing?
Complicated situation. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'd say the same, mate. Complicated.
It's a good day, isn't it?
Well, it is. It is. But we'll catch up with that in a sec. So I'll just finish off with Juliet. So shorter inhales, longer exhales. Slow breathing is where it's where you get the most effects, and lower volume so that you can build up a CO2 tolerance. And like I said, asthmatics, it's really a matter of not having enough CO2 to actually relax the bronchioles and to deliver the oxygen to the lungs as well so that they can breathe properly. So Buteyko breathing techniques were specifically for that. But again, like the ones I just explained to, they will work just as effectively. And then we see, I have written a number of articles about this actually on the Substack that will help as well. So if you have any questions or if your friend wants to reach out, just let her know and I'll be happy to help. Yeah, here's seagulls. What's been
Earlier
going?
you would have heard drilling. Yeah, literally I just got my setup sorted out. I had to close the window. I was hoping to have the window open to get some fresh air today, but literally the moment I've turned the camera on, there's a drilling, so I'm like, brilliant.
Yeah, it should look
gloomy day today.
Yeah,
it's not bad. Yeah, it looks back to front now, so I might have to try and flip it. Is that better?
Yeah, that's better. That's it. Yep.
There we go. Yeah, I don't know why some apps do that. They just flip all your stuff. And I was like,
yeah,
I didn't look right. Weird.
Yeah. I'm just going to try my camera again. Hang on a second.
Yeah.
Don't know why it's not working. All right. Well, I guess not.
Yeah, I could rig up my the proper camera, which is this one.
Yeah.
But
Oh, nice.
I've got a 4K webcam and it does the job really. It's just a bit awkward when things like dislodge a bit, and I've already got infinite amount of wires in front of me, so I'm a bit deterred from setting it up properly.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. So, all right. So you've been busy?
Yeah, quite busy. The last few days I've had lots of stuff going on, lots of different things going on. Later this morning I'm going to go to the phone shop and get my phone screen repaired. I might be able to kind of show you if the camera sorts itself out. But you see there's like 2 lines through the screen?
Yep.
Yeah. So I had this phone repaired because I had a crack in it. When I went on holiday, in the massage parlour I was having a massage on holiday, they didn't have any lights on. So I couldn't find my pocket to put my phone in. Once I put it in, for it to the ground sort of thing, it cracked.
Yeah.
Paid £275, £280 to get it repaired. They didn't use a proper repair, so within like a few days or a week or something, the pixels started showing up on the screen again. I'm like, oh my god. So basically over £550 I'm gonna have to pay to get my phone repaired.
Yeah, that sucks. Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of money.
It is.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You might as well have a new phone.
Well, I'd think that, but the thing is, the phone itself is worth a lot of money that I'm reluctant to, like, you know, it's because I need my phone to like do all my stuff. Like my life evolves around my phone.
Yeah.
My
Most
screen
does these days.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so I sorted out the backdrop and stuff, so it looks a bit better. I've got a nice little sparkly light. I can change it to different colours, but I like my red.
Yeah, red's good. Oh, that looks good, man.
So I've got obviously the slanted
the
roof,
red light sort of matches your motif as well. Like everything carnivore muscle is red as well, so that's good.
Yeah. You've got the hoodie.
No, it's not a hoodie. This one.
Oh, that one. Oh yeah. Yeah, I like those sort of like baseball tops. They're pretty cool. I used to wear them because they you're a broad guy, so like when they make those, they don't always
I
have
like
the seam
the sleeves. Yeah.
without
because if I wear like those, they cut off like that sort of box here, it looks weird. It looks like a fridge,
like a triangle, like a
yeah.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. And they're much more comfortable, much more flexible, so that you can reach out more and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
So
I'm getting more like hypersensitive nowadays. So my skin, I don't like things on my skin. It's getting quite awkward now. So my clothes, try to wear just baggy stuff that just is like an overall, basically.
Yeah, I'm the same. I love baggy clothes more than anything, and I don't. I mean, I need like natural fibers as well, but I mean that's why I try to like wear cotton as much as possible. So
good for you. I mean, I'm not like great with clothes and things like that. Most of the clothes I wear are branded merch anyway, but I tried to get the cotton, organic sort of stuff, but
it's difficult. I mean, that's right. You can just do what you can. It's difficult though, but especially like polyester and stuff like that. Like it's all made from recycled plastics and stuff as well. And I mean, it's a really big endocrine disruptor as well. So because we just absorb so much through our skin, it's crazy. But you have to be careful about even natural fibers though too, the way they treat it and the way they color it and stuff like that as well. So these are that can be a problem as well.
Yeah. I like to think with like the sauna and stuff, I'll probably eliminate a lot of the crap that I probably take in. Obviously, it's not like foolproof. So getting a sweat on probably eliminates a few things. And obviously, I use exogenous testosterone, so I'm not worried about, my testicles or estrogen levels sort of thing. But I can see the value in it for sure for a lot of people. I mean, the fact is, what most men are, deficient in testosterone after a certain age. It makes you think.
Yeah,
you might as well try and optimize that. It eliminates a future thing like having to, use TRT or something. So keep yourself.
I mean, there's that too, and I mean, there's PUFAs and stuff like that sort of accumulate in organ tissue as well, which is another problem. So just try and avoid all that crap. You can't avoid everything in life. Like we're surrounded. We are basically like we're submerged in all the crap that all the toxins and stuff like that these corporations make, and the way that everything is set up these days. You can't avoid everything, but try your best anyway. Is all you can do, really.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm just going to get to Juliet's question here. Statement. She states asthma attacks, not stress induced, but I don't know much about asthma. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a stressful thing. Like there a lot of asthmatics will be triggered by a stressful situation. Yes, because what happens is when they get into that sympathetic nervous state, their heart rate elevates. So then their breathing elevates. Then their heart rate elevates again because they start breathing higher, faster, and then the breathing gets faster. All right, and obviously they can't breathe because they don't have they're blowing off too much CO2. They don't have enough CO2 in their cells already to deliver the oxygen to their lungs and to relax the capillaries in their lungs. Okay, which is the problem of asthmatics. So it's really like I said, the restrictive Buteyko methods are really good. There are many other restrictive breathing techniques that I went through just before as well. And the idea is too, like you can cure this, you can grow out of it as well. Some, if you had like childhood asthma, for example, a lot of people do grow out of it. It's really about learning how to breathe and learning how to regulate your nervous system, and that's pretty much exactly the same as everyone else that I've been talking about on my channel for a long time now. So just follow that, and it might take time to get used to these sort of things, but it does work very effectively.
Yeah, I was asthmatic for a long time. I don't even use an inhaler anymore or anything. I think it's largely for me. It's largely inflammatory induced.
Yeah.
So when I was eating like a lot of carbs and stuff back in the day, I felt quite asthmatic then. But now it's healthy body weight, controlled breathing, not putting in as like toxins. I mean things like dairy, they can definitely sort of level up your amount of mucus and things around your lungs. So I think that probably contributes as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your esophagus as well makes it difficult as well. You get like esophageal mucus from dairy. I was the same. Like I used to be like if I ate too much ice cream, for example, I used to get a lot of that like mucus on the lungs and stuff like that too. But I think when I was a kid, I had asthma as well. But when I started doing more sports, it actually just went away, because I was learning to breathe properly. I think, when I did a lot of running and stuff like that as well, swimming, especially swimming is actually very good for asthmatics because it teaches them to restrict their breathing because, for example, if you're doing freestyle, you breathe only every three or more strokes, for example. So that actually helps you to. And holding your breath while you swim underwater for as long as you can, for example, is another good way to do it. So these are all good techniques that are good ways for your body just naturally learns to build it, CO2 tolerance. So
I love swimming. Joe and I went swimming a couple of weeks back. So when I go up there, I've got a leisure centre membership up there, and we're doing like some races in the pool and stuff. And I can only swim underwater because I can't kick my legs, so I have to reduce the resistance on my body. So I've got to go. When I swim, I'm like a whale right into the water. I'll just do the whole length. It's the width of the pool, but I'll do that underwater. We'll do a bit of a race. So obviously, I'm a bit quicker because I'm fitter, sort of thing. So I'll give like about a third of the length sort of head start. She swims above the water. But we try and sort of compete in a sense. So it's quite good fun. And I think having a bit of competition sometimes in like exercise is fun because it means you're sort of more accountable.
Yeah.
If anyone's got a friend or partner out there, they can do some Olympics with. It's good fun. My friend in this area, Liz. Got a friend called Liz in this area, so she's similar situation to me. She's got both the SI joints fused though. Her swimming a bit like mine, so she can swim on the water and kick her legs. I can't. But when she swims, she's pretty much all upper body. And you look at her physique, she's quite quite broad at the top, like good like lats and things like that. So she gets some good speed. Yeah, I mean, just goes to show, like swimming, anyone could do it. Like I could do it with a fused spine. She could do it with fused hips. Joe can do it with lung issues, things like that, heart issues. So yeah.
I mean, I think it's a great way. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do in the pool, like pool running and aqua aerobics and things like that. But it takes a lot of weight off your body. It gives you some buoyancy, but it also gives you a lot of resistance as well, because you've got to try and move through the water. And again, like you've got to regulate your breathing, which is another fantastic part of it, because like for yourself, you got to try and go as far as you can underwater without breathing. It's great. It's a great technique to use to help sort of bring up your CO2 tolerance. So I think, like you were saying before too, talking about eating carbs, this is another reason why I think it's good for the carnivore diet, because you get more CO2 development or production in your ATP, in your mitochondria, because you produce more CO2 along with easy water and ATP from meat and fat, especially, rather than carbohydrates. Carbohydrates, you're always thirsty because you're not producing enough easy water. You're generally speaking, they're going to be heavier breathers or faster breathers, because they're not producing enough CO2 to get oxygen to their cells and so on as well. So, this is another good reason why. This is why I always said that the combination was not so much that it's a combination thing, but it's the fact that, and same with talking about last week I was talking about chewing and developing your airways and so on, your jaw and so on. It's just proof, like carnivore, even the like the Bohr effect and things like that it's a synergistic lifestyle that we should all be doing. Like this is our diet and this is the way we should be breathing, sort of thing.
I've got a question for you. I don't know how to word it, but what role does the carnivore diet, and I notice when I train, I've got less lactic acid when I train, so I can actually push a set much further. So what role does breathing techniques like this play in regards to like exercise performance and lactic acid buffering and things like that?
Okay, well, it's like I said, like when it comes to any kind of sport, the lower your heart rate while you're performing any kind of sport, the more you're going to be able to push yourself, right? The more oxygen you deliver to your cells, the more you're going to be able to push yourself, right? Okay, so how do you do that? You breathe less, build your CO2 tolerance, build up your CO2 numbers, and that actually, breathing less will actually deliver more oxygen to your cells. It will also ease your heart rate. So in terms of exercise performance, if you can learn to control your breathing so that you're only breathing through your nose while you're actually performing the sets, for example, you will be able to push yourself further, do more reps perhaps, or more weight, because you are actually getting more oxygen to those cells. Plus you have a lower heart rate, which means that your 1 RM max, for example, will be higher. Apart from that as well, over time you are also building up your VO2 max, because you have more, because when you are breathing slower like that, under duress like that, you can also develop HIFs, which are going to produce more EPO, right? And if you do, for example, if you do prolonged breath work, say if you do a tumo breathing with prolonged breath hold before you train, for example, you are also going to build so about 3 hours after your last breath hold is about where you'll get your maximum EPO production. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, like EPO, produced from the kidneys is going to stimulate the bone marrow to produce more blood cells. More blood cells, higher while you are training. You also have a higher CO2 level with slower breathing. So you've got more blood cells with more CO2, which means you're going to have more blood cells delivering more oxygen to the cells. Yeah. So in that respect, you can really increase your performance quite a lot.
That's helpful to know. Yeah.
I think the highest recorded elevation, the EPO elevation, was about 3 hours after the last prolonged breath hold of about 30%, which is a huge number. So you can imagine that's going to increase performance.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to get more people into that now. So like, obviously when I'm coaching clients or I see their video footage and stuff, I'm obviously work from the outside in. So like, what are the big things, like, strict form, controlled tempo, things like that. But with some of my clients now, they've sort of nailed that. So I sort of add bits in. So I'm like, okay, when you go to the gym, maybe chew some gum or something, just breathe through your nose. So I got my we don't really train together, but my training partner, I guess you could say, Liz.
Wear a mouth guard.
Yeah, mouth. Some bodybuilders have done that in the past, actually. Yeah, you're actually stronger because if you're gripping on something with your mouth, your whole body is actually stronger. So you think you're more resilient. When they torture someone or when they cut someone's leg off in a desert island, they get them to bite onto a piece of leather or a belt.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been giving Liz some chewing gum before she trains. Keeps her mouth shut and she breathes through her nose more.
Good.
I'm trying to get more of my clients to do that now because when you say to someone, I want you to send me a training footage of you doing an exercise, they're going for it. Like, you can tell they're trying hard, but I'm like, yeah, I know you're going to try hard. That's a given. You work with me, sort of thing. But I want to see you try hard, but optimize what you're doing. It's like your posture's good, your breathing's good, your chest's in the right place. You're not doing all this straining sort of weird stuff that you don't need to do. I've got a client competing on Saturday, actually, Mina, and she's an Estonian lady. She's doing women's wellness. So think like Brazilian booty body sort of thing, a bit like bikini, sort of a bit bigger around the legs. And I watch her training. I wish I could just take over her training, but she's got a current training coach, PT sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it's not optimal, because she's 4 days out from her show. She's doing these glute drive hip thrust sort of things. She's doing all this sort of stuff when she's doing. I'm like, just calm down, just activate the muscles, less of the inertia. Just worry about the actual bit you're trying to do, which is target the muscle. Yeah. As soon as you start like worrying about what everyone else is doing, and you're trying to make it almost look like you're trying really hard.
Yeah, exactly.
You actually put less effort into it because your mind's not directed on executing movement; it's directed on like showing like how strong and much effort I'm doing.
Right. Just trying to show off. It's just a lot of it's just ego driven. No, you're right. Like, there's a lot of stuff that involved there too. Like, when you're talking about posture as well, posture is going to make a difference to the way you breathe as well. Okay, if you don't have the right posture, you're not breathing properly. Restricting. I mean, I think like mouth guards are really good for a number of reasons because it stops like impact on your teeth and so on, because you're always going to squeeze hard anyway. Yeah. But it's also helping to keep their mouth shut while they're training and only breathe through the nose, so they can restrict their breathing a bit and slow it down a bit. The next thing to do would be to, like, if they want a really big like performance increase, to do a good breath session before training, not immediately before, maybe an hour or so before would be good, or even depends on how their training is. But then restrict their breathing, reduce their heart rate and their breathing while they're actually performing the reps as well. They will definitely be able to, for one, the metabolic process is obviously going on. You're producing more blood cells, and you are keeping your CO2 levels up high enough that you are actually going to utilize those extra blood cells to get more oxygen to the cells, keep your heart rate down. So you're going to push yourself a lot harder, a lot easier, and you're going to get more oxygen to the cells. So you won't get that so much of that lactic acid build up as well. So you're going to get a lot more performance out of it, you know. So if you can do that, this will take some training and a lot of conscious thought going into it while you are doing it, because you need to remind yourself to do this, you know. But the difference would be quite significant, though.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
And then if you afterwards, after training, do a down-regulating breath work, this will get you into that ventral vagal sort of rest and digest state, so that you get into that recovery state a lot faster, a lot sooner. You can speed up your recovery, you know, and that will obviously improve your returns as well, your growth and so on, because you are absorbing more nutrients from your food for a start, which obviously you need for for growth and everything else. It'll give you a faster return back into the gym, so you might even be able to increase frequency, for example. So yeah, I mean, it really is, especially if you get into that. I think it's good for anyone to use, but even elite athletes, this would be very beneficial as well, you know.
Yeah, I'm a fan of after workouts just finding a way to chill out. So like when I was with Joe, we it's quite a sunny day. I think we went outside after the training, after I did some gym work. We just sat on the bench sort of thing in the sun.
Yeah,
and something just doing that is such a benefit, you know, because your heart rate goes down quicker.
Well, that's why I know, like a lot of everyone says, you know, go for a walk after your gym sessions. Right? Like you see a lot of bodybuilders will do that too. They'll get on the treadmill and they'll do like 5-10 minutes of walking. That actually is very good, because you are, I mean, it's best to do it outside, you know, rather than on the treadmill. But that when you start walking, you, generally speaking, not everyone does, but if you are only breathing in and out through the nose, you are down regulating your breathing, and it puts you into that, what they call cardiac coherent breathing. So you're reducing your heart rate, and you're breathing, you know, on average about 5.5 breaths per minute, sort of thing. 5.5 breaths, you know, 6, depending on the breather, obviously. Some breathers, obviously, a lot of people these days over breathe. But generally speaking, if you can get yourself into just a calm, relaxed walking state, that's going to activate your vagus nerve and get you into that rest and digest state. So when people tell you to walk after a gym session, it's actually pretty good advice.
Yeah, I prefer, I ideally prefer after, but when I do train, I'm so exhausted. So what I do, for my cardio, for what it's worth, is just incline treadmill, 10 to 15 minutes when I start. It's not to wear me out. It's not, you know, it's just to sort of zone in a little bit, elevate my heart rate a little bit, upregulate, or
like a dynamic
warm-up. Increase ATP sort of production. You know, you got to get your body sort of primed for it in a sense. So yeah, I can see the value in it, and when I'm doing that, I might listen to slightly more energetic music. When I finish in the gym, if I've got playlists on my phone that I'm playing, I'll put more energetic music first. As I get more worn out towards the end of the session, like maybe my 6th or 7th out of like maybe 8 or 9 sets, I'll then put on like a quieter music. I'll take a bit longer to rest between sets.
That's a good way.
I think sometimes people don't leave enough time for the gym, so I'll actually book out like a 3-hour slot when I go to the gym. Not because I'm in the gym for 3 hours, because if it means I just sat in the corner sort of thing, looking outside, or on a bench outside for 10 minutes. I see such a benefit from it, because once you go home, you have your lunch or whatever, and you're like, your heart rate's still 100 beats per minute. You're not going to digest anything that's better doing that.
It's just going to go straight through.
Yeah.
No, that's exactly right. I mean, music's another great way to do it. You know, it's something I do as well. And like I said, like the incline walking before you start, it's a great way to get warmed. I always have a dynamic warm up. I never stretch beforehand, but I always have a good active dynamic warm up. And then like, you know, on the way, as soon as the session is finished, like at the end of my session, it's always very calm, sort of relaxing sort of music. to help bring you down, because music is very effective that way. You can elevate your nervous system or bring it down. Same as breath work can. I always do a breath work on my way home, like a nice down regulating sort of breath work. As soon as I get in the car, listen to just chill music, and then I'll do my breath work on my drive home. It's actually very good to do while you're driving, because there's a lot of nuts on the road that you just want to slam. But it's that's just, I mean, by the time I get home, I'm pretty much feeling pretty easy and feeling ready to eat, So I think it's a good way to do it. Very effective way. Anyway.
Yeah.
Joe says, I agree. You see, my asthma attacks come when my heart rate increases. Yeah. Worse when I'm panicked or upset. Yeah. See, that is, I mean, that's a common thing for asthmatics. It's really just about, like I said, the actual asthma attack is actually because of a low CO2 in your body. But it's also a dysregulated nervous system that actually sets off the panic and elevates the heart rate, and then obviously that elevates the breathing, and it just sort of has that rebound effect. So you can train your nervous system and build up your CO2 tolerance. That will help you, with the asthma. So
absolutely.
I nearly beat Jonathan once until I realized he gave me a massive head start.
Yeah.
Thanks, brother. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I recognise some of the names actually. Kitchen Witch, Aliyah, Thomas.
Hey, Alia, good to see you.
We've got the same sort of subscribers, it seems like, because I recognise all of those names.
Oh. Yeah. I haven't seen Alia for a while. How you doing? Good to see you, love. Thomas Connolly, good to see you. Kitchen Witch, hello. Jeez, I haven't seen a lot of you guys for a while. I hope you're all well. Yeah, I didn't see everyone sneak in. Congratulations to all those that received the gift membership. Yes, thank you. And here we go. Hang on a second. Purple coconuts. Who's that? It looks like George.
George. Yes.
Yeah,
I don't know the exact story behind the username, but something to do with a film, a story, or a book or something. I might be able to explain in the chat. But yeah, there's a reason why it's purple coconuts. It's not just miscellaneous random.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, just joined. I've been busy at work, making myself comfortable in my new gatehouse. I'm very good at work. A proper title man cave. Oh, cool. A proper little man cave. Very good. Yeah. Hey, goes to that. Purple coconut. Yeah, George. Yeah, what have I missed? Yeah, I've missed something there too. I didn't realize George changed his name. I was looking at the little photo. That looks like George, but
it looks like some bloke. Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yep. And beautiful Joe. I'm cooking. Need to run off and stir often. Fair enough. Chicken soup. Oh, nice. Yeah. Hi, George. Yeah. So, I mean, these kind of routines, like like when I talk about these breathing techniques, like there's a small, like I said, it takes training, like takes practice, it takes building up that CO2 tolerance, because I mean, obviously the more you do it, the better you get at doing this sort of. But being consciously aware of the way you breathe while you're training, I mean, that's something every athlete should be doing anyway. But the problem is most of them don't get the proper training in their breathing, So if you can work on that, just a few simple techniques that it can be difficult to start with, but you'd be surprised how different you feel while you're training. And certainly afterwards, I think you certainly get a lot of benefit out of it. Doesn't matter what you're doing. So.
Yeah, I'm trying to do a seminar at my gym just to help people with like technique and stuff, because you watch what they're doing and you're like, you're actually not going anywhere. You're probably better for actually not going to the gym because you're going to injure yourself.
Yeah.
A lot of it, like you say, it's a lot of this like holding your breath, then hyperventilating, and you're sort of like worn out, you're sweating everywhere. It's like we could just make this a lot easier for yourself. So when I train, I try to finish the set because I'm a bodybuilder. My goal isn't to become fitter. I'm not trying to get, wrestling heart rate of like 40. My goal is to build muscle. So I want people to trying to get people to emphasize the training part of it and less so much on like the how quickly can I get from A to B sort of thing. So,
yeah. You couldn't be more wrong, Jonathan, apparently. All right.
Yeah,
Well, we'll have to get the story.
He explained it recently. Yeah. I think it was yesterday or a live stream somewhere. He explained it. I think I was half asleep. I don't know what he said, but I think it's something like that. But I don't know.
Yeah. Burn fun. It was a male procedure that made some things swell and bruise so much that they looked like purple coconuts. Oh, okay.
Oh.
That doesn't sound pleasant.
I don't want to picture that. Too late. Oh, no.
Think about that, actually.
Let's go to something else, shall we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to talk about, obviously, I think these techniques are great for everyone because everyone has pretty much the same issues when it comes to breathing and getting oxygen to the cells and so on. But obviously, you can see the benefits that any kind of athlete is going to have from that, whether it's an endurance athlete or a bodybuilder or anything like that. So if you're going to have seminars like that, I think or talk to people in the gym, like you said, I see this all the time too. You're right. Like for some people, I think that they either need to learn how to do it properly, or they should just stop going to the gym because they're just going to injure themselves and make things worse for themselves. And I find, it's really hard to, with young trainers as well. Like I see young trainers in the gym all the time. They just do the worst things for their clients. You can see, there's a lot. Obviously, a lot of obese people come in, and these trainers are trying to show them all these different exercises and stuff. But you don't take like a 60-year-old obese woman and start showing how to do deadlifts. That's
start off with a machine. Get them to just know what it feels like to work hard.
Yeah.
An isolated movement, move body. Use the muscle to get the weight from A to B. Repeat it. Then as time goes on, you can sort of feel muscles more. You can activate things better. Then you try a body weight squat. You try a wall sit. You try stabilization movements where you're trying to have a high force output.
Like a 60-year-old woman who's obese, she's not going to do even a body weight squat. That's why pin weight machines are great, because you can do it's a supported exercise for one, and you can do much lighter exercises. Like you can do 5, 10, 15 kilos sort of thing, which is obviously going to be much lighter for them than a body weight sort of squat. They're just, I don't know. It's just you see these trainers these days that they go through these trends. It's really popular now to do deadlifts. So let's do deadlifts for everyone, right? It's just madness,
I don't do any of the big three anymore at all.
No,
my body's not worse for it. I don't feel weaker for it. I honestly don't think I'm missing out for it. So
no, you obviously not. You're performing well, aren't you? But one of the first things that people should be doing is learning how to breathe properly, learning some of the smaller basic sort of exercises too. Like imagine what that's going to do for her joints, for example. They've got their sedentary people. Think about how they're going to injure their joints. I've always said it. You build the foundation before you build the house. That's the way. And you'll get much faster results long term than you will by going, trying to jump in and injure yourself and then either quitting or taking time off and so on. So just like trainers these days are just You know,
I
Australia
completely
has that.
agree. That, I mean, they'll ask me stuff in the gym, like people that are paid to do something with their own clients.
Yeah.
They'll actually approach me and say, "Oh, do you think this is right?" I'm like, "Would you like to pay me the same amount you're charging your lady friend here to
Yeah,
train you?"
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, give me the money you're going to give her, and then I'll tell you.
yeah,
Yeah. But
yeah. I'm always happy to help people because it means people build up respect for you more if you're helpful with people. But the problem
well,
I have is because I'm not a trainer, I don't want to be obnoxious and be like, "Oh, you're doing it wrong."
yeah,
But I saw some guys the other day doing it's like a reared out, cable fly.
yeah,
They're standing so close to the machine. I was like, "What is your goal here? You're trying to target the back of your shoulders or your mid upper back?" Oh,
yeah.
back of the shoulders. And I was like, "Well, if you look at think of like training like physics, like where is the load going?
Mm.
Where are you going to achieve the most amount of stimulus in that movement? So that will dictate how far away you'll stand to the cable stack." And I got them literally just to stand further away from the cables when they're doing the reverse cable fly.
Yeah,
Therefore, the upper back, the scapula, was spread, so it's
yeah,
stretched. And if
mm.
a muscle group is stretched, it's much harder to activate. So therefore, you're isolating the target muscle group, which would be the rear of the shoulders, better. So just like little tweaks like that. Sometimes it's just positioning,
Yeah, that's right.
and in an exercise you think is just the same thing. But, if you do a bicep curl and you stand 10 feet away from it with a cable, or you stand directly on top of the cable, that'll affect where the force output is needed.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's simple things. You know, a lot of it is like actually even talking the same thing.
Mm,
Like reverse cable pulls, like for your rear deltoids, for example. You see a lot of people doing straight arm, and they're
yeah.
really just working on their triceps, rather than their rear deltoids. So, the, small things can make a very big difference.
Absolutely, yeah.
Mm. So George is saying is a song on. Okay, okay. Purple Coconuts is a song on Grandma Crochet's Corner. Okay, it was inspired by a story about the 40th birthday, as told by Lainey. Okay, it is a story about the risk and consequences of unnecessary invasive surgery. Be warned. Fair enough. It sounds like something that shouldn't be made into a song. It sounds like a bit too much
Yeah,
information, I think. Yeah, that sounds painful, actually. It was awful, Joe. You only hear about good experiences. George's, yeah, George was terrible. George's was terrible. Yeah, that's the thing too. The end, the doctors, they only tell you about the good results, and they never tell you about the bad results, do they? So
yeah. A doctor should have the mindset that when they're prescribing you drugs or something, it should be an endpoint. Like the intervention should eventually have to change because it means it's solved the root cause of the problem.
yeah,
You use these things intermittently. You might use antidepressants, inhalers, but the goal should be always to not need them because
yeah,
I was thinking about this the other night. I was thinking we have all these drugs which do the intended thing that we want them to do, but it just fills one gap. It doesn't take into account everything around it.
no,
So if your lungs are bad using inhaler, okay, great. Well, imagine how much benefit you'd have just by being 10% fitter. You
exactly.
probably wouldn't need half the medications.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. And imagine if you just would, if you just breathe properly, you wouldn't need any of it.
Yeah, yeah,
So it makes a big difference. I mean, but of course, if you're a doctor or a pharmaceuticals like sales rep or something like that, obviously it's not going to say,
mm,
look, here, just start learn how to breathe properly. Then you won't need the puffer. So they're not going to do that. It's just not going to
yeah,
happen. I had a funny experience today. Actually, I went to a GP because I just decided to go get some. I'm going to get some tests done. I had to get some bloods and urine, and I'll get an ultrasound done next week as well. But
mm,
I was they were checking my blood pressure, which actually was surprisingly low compared to because I do, even though I did a breathing. I was doing some breathing while I was waiting because I was getting a bit pissed off because honestly they were taking
yeah,
too long. But So I was doing some breathing while I was waiting for him, and then I always get a bit of anxiety when I go in and just talk to these people because I just don't want to be there. I don't want to talk to these idiots because but you can't get these tests done without them, unfortunately. So I'm sitting in there, and he tries to put a blood pressure cuff on. It couldn't fit on my arm, so he went and got another one. That next one didn't fit on my arm, so I had to get they went and got the largest size they had. And it still didn't fit on my arm. In the end, they ended up putting it on my forearm because it didn't fit over my biceps and triceps and so, on the upper arm, which was kind of funny. So, but it was a bit frustrating at the same time. But eventually, he just put it around my forearm, and we did it that way. And but even with all that was going on, like my blood pressure came back was like 112 over 52, so pretty low.
A little bit low, yeah. I mean, it's relative, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've had readings from 100 over 50, and I've had readings 150 over about 85. Seemingly feel the same, but obviously, I think there is like a middle ground, obviously. But they're always shocked when they check my results. They always think, "Oh, you should have all these things wrong with you," and I'm like, "I just don't."
Yeah, that's right. What's wrong with it? There's nothing wrong with it if you don't have them, is it? I mean, that's the thing. I was a bit surprised because my heart rate was elevated somewhat because I was in that situation.
Yeah,
it could be the fact that it was done on my forearm as well. Because it's, but I don't know. But it was quite late. I mean, but I felt fine. I didn't feel any different to any other time, honestly. But GPs, they don't know shit, and they just sort of panic over everything. So
I had a consultation. I can't remember if it was last week or the week before, with a cardiologist. Quite a nice bloke, actually. I suspect he was autistic, so I actually trusted him more because I was like, this guy probably is passionate about this. He takes it seriously. And when I was speaking to him, he answered all my questions. He knew exactly what I was talking about. But the problem was, he couldn't actually access the results of my tests that I had, which was the purpose of the consultation.
Yeah.
So you see, all he had was basically a few paragraphs, two paragraphs saying, "This is where Jonathan's, I don't know, this is what his ECG said, and this is what his blood pressure reading said," sort of thing.
Yeah.
His blood test results. But he wants to actually see, like, for himself, like, because sometimes you have to see it for yourself to really sort of get it. But I've now got to wait until May they tried to put me in for the same day my nan's funeral is on, which is 7th of May. They've pushed it back to the 28th of May because I had to reschedule it, obviously. And I'm like, is that going to give a true representative reading? Because that'll be about a week before my bodybuilding show.
Yeah.
Because I'll be in that physical state for a select period of time. So it's not a generalized reading of what will be happening to my body over the course of a year, sort of thing. So
no, that's right. Yeah, that's another. I mean, that's a good point. Actually, a lot of people don't get that too. It's like preparation before each test, like blood tests or ECGs or anything else like that. This is like recording at that sort of time. It's not really a very accurate sort of reading it for like over the course of a year sort of thing. And it depends on how you prepare for what you're going through beforehand and so on. So I generally like to try and make sure before I get blood tests, for example, or urine tests or anything else, that I go through the same cycle, like for about 5 days before the test. So I try and keep it like the same routine. I mean, it doesn't always work, but it sort of gives you a more accurate sort of,
a lot of these readings, honestly, because I get my blood tested privately about every 2 to 3 months. They also get other blood tests through the NHS just by default of whatever issues I've got. And I've had an EGFR reading. I might have said this before, but on, say, Monday, it was 54.
Yeah.
On Tuesday, it was 70.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a massive margin. That's a 25% margin. So it's like some of these tests I think they're useful, like snapshots. Like if my EGFR was like 10, it's like, well, yeah, there probably is something drastically wrong with you. if I go from a type 3A, kidney disease guy to a, type 1 kidney disease guy within a day, makes you think, what is the point of the reading? So they're always doing this because they always give me the same, routine tests.
I've had
I have to actually
different
explain to them, like,
EGFR readings from like morning to afternoon.
Oh yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's really difficult to. I mean, this is the problem that you have when you get people like announcing, "Oh, you've got this problem with your kidneys. You need to get these drugs and shit," because they just go off of one test, and that could change within hours. So,
Testosterone is one of them.
yeah.
You have to have a lot of numbers to really get representation. So, like, I spoke to Stephen about this quite a few times, but like, Sean Baker came out a few years back. He's like, "Oh, my testosterone was, low."
Yeah.
So you could test him the next day, or a few hours later, it could be medium. But it's not so much like what that number says; it's what the body converts to.
Yeah, that
how much
that
DHT, how much
so
estrogen.
ridiculous, and of course, every vegan sort of latched onto that. But I mean, total bullshit. I mean, the guy's 6'5". He's 270 odd pounds. He's got world records to his name as an athlete. Like, there's no way he has low testosterone. That's horseshit.
You would not be able to recover if it was low. So, although that one number might be low, if his SHBG is very, very low, and his IGF-1 levels are very, very high, and growth hormones high, so it paints a different picture. Because I've had clients before where they've had like a test level of like 200, and the range is like 100 to 1,000, something like that. And I've had guys which are like 1,200. You wouldn't, if you met them, you wouldn't have been able to really suss out the difference.
No, that's right. Yeah. So I mean, like, this is another thing that people don't get about blood tests. This is about, like you said before, it's a snapshot of what is actually going through your blood at the time that you took it. That's all it is. It could be different in an hour's time. It's just, and people freak out. I mean, especially when they change their diet, and especially when they first go to carnivore diet, for example, they start, like, for the first time ever, they decide to get blood tests because they changed the carnivore diet. It didn't matter before when they're on the standard Western diet. It's crazy. But all of a sudden now they're interested in their blood test. And they freak out because all these numbers are going, "Oh, this is not right. This is not right." And they have no idea what's going on.
Yeah. This is a good point that Joe's just put up on the screen. So, I mean, I can speak on this myself. I've had, protein in my urine quite a few times, but if my kidney function is beyond excellent, then does it really mean anything? So I do have scarring on one of my kidneys, yes. However, they are slightly larger than average. So that scarring might be there, but it doesn't mean my kidney is any worse off than someone who has numbers which are a certain amount either. So you're putting together so many different numbers,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And there's, I mean, how much how high is your bilirubin and there's other markers, all these other different markers around your kidney, just your kidney function as well. Like, so I mean, when they go off about the EGFR, for example, it's not, and again, it is just a snapshot. It doesn't mean that you have bad kidneys. It just means that during that period, like, it just is not optimal, perhaps.
It's also an index, isn't it? Because it's like BMI. It's like, weight times whatever waist ratio, where it is. You'll go up on this graph, but I mean, what is the EGFR calculation of? I can't remember. I should remember. But if my creatinine levels are significantly elevated because I've been training the day before,
well, it's always going to be
but the other number's fine
because of your muscle mass.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, Joe and I spoke about this last night about creatinine kinase, and I sort of explained to it. No, it's not that creatinine kinase means that you're in more pain or you've got more heart issues. It's just something in your body is breaking down to a greater degree. But if for example, that if your creatinine kinase level is always so it's always 100. Okay, fine, you've got a sort of a trend sort of thing over time, but you get the odd number that's like 2,000. Okay, maybe then you'd be worried. if you're even taking creatine supplements or something else, it's not really. Yeah, I don't like all these indices numbers like these.
Yeah.
What's the other one? The is it glucose ketone index, something like that? It's GKI. I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of people try to measure that all the time. Like, why do you have to have an index of numbers? Why can't you just look at one number? Like, find one number that establishes, do you cause and effect have a problem? You know, cystatin C is a better example of a kidney function test, but we don't really get that in the UK. So it's almost like they don't know what it is, but they insist on using these sort of stupid numbers, and I don't know. It's a lot of the time I find myself, I'm not a world expert in blood markers, but you have to piece things together very carefully. Without knowing who I am or meeting me or knowing what my day of living is like, you wouldn't have an idea what certain numbers should or shouldn't say. But I do run the best possible kidney, heart, and brain supplement stack you possibly could imagine. So that's the best I can do right now. The goal is obviously to come off that when I stop bodybuilding, but for now it's preventative, you know. So
yeah.
I
mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, I think also another thing, like you said, like it is just like the BMI because they're going off. None of this is nuanced. It's all about like that, what they call the normal sort of range, and the normal range changes from week to week basically because everyone's health is getting so much worse. So and like I said, like your creatinine levels are obviously going to be much higher than average anyway because of your muscle mass, right? But you're paying out a bit of protein and so on. That doesn't mean death. Doesn't mean your kidneys are getting in trouble. It just means that you eat a lot of protein, especially on the carnivore diet, and you have other things going on as well. So like,
it's a transient number as well.
It is
DC, because I mean I've had plus protein in my urine before. I also had no protein in my urine. It's not true representation really. I mean, you could have loads of protein in your urine, but if your filtration rate is fine.
How did you prepare for this test as well? Like, what did you eat beforehand and so on? Like, this is all affected by that, So, I mean, if you fasted for a week and you got a problem, then that might give you sort of better numbers maybe, but generally speaking, like I said, this is why I always prepare. I try to prepare for each test about the same way, so I know that it's sort of more level sort of playing field.
Yeah, I've asked Grok all this sort of stuff, like if these numbers mean this, what does it mean? And it sort of comes out like, oh, it's detrimental, and you sort of look at it and you're like, is it though, or is it just you using the wrong numbers?
Yeah, that's right.
Do I have any more questions in the chat? I want to answer some questions.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't actually read Joe's question. The current kidney test is definitely flawed. Yeah. Like I was just looking at some of these. Some of my numbers are actually quite high. Like creatinine has always been high for me too because I have more muscle mass than average. Like here, like there's like between 60 and 110 units at like
normal. Right, yeah.
And
mine runs about 1,000 sometimes.
Yeah, like that's right. Like my last test was 161 or something, but my EGFR, anything over 59 is good. But I only have one kidney, so mine's at 53. Right, so I have one kidney doing, pretty much better than the average. Basically, it's pretty good. So, because I have a lot of scar tissue on my kidneys as well, and my liver and my heart and stuff as well. So, there's always going to be different numbers to other people, but I'm still here. I'm doing pretty well, so I'm not too worried about it.
If anyone listening to this right now is like worried about kidney health, you get in touch with Stephen, perhaps. I take supplements to help keep things in check. So like astragalus fruit extract, injectable glutathione, peptides. All these things are kidney protective because I can't remember how the astragalus fruit works. Basically, it does in my experience lower proteinuria levels, which is quite helpful. So
I've found though too that if like over the years, if when I'm drinking too much water, for example, my EGFR is actually lower um, than when I restrict my water a bit as well. So I mean, there's only a number of things that's going to affect those numbers. Like what you ate leading up to the test, and how much water you drink, and like electrolytes and everything like that as well too. So I think it really comes down to the way you prepare for it as well. And I think that if anyone's going to, I mean, obviously, I think the only reason to have tests done is because you have an affect. Like if there's something wrong, then get tested, sort of thing. But having said that, though, I didn't think there was much wrong with me when I was first diagnosed. So, it depends on how you feel. It really does. But it's just the way it is. But don't freak out over one test either. Like you got to do these tests over a certain period of time to sort of get a real idea of what's going on.
I had to self-discharge twice from hospital this year. The second time I actually discharged myself because I was dehydrated and they weren't looking after me. I was so thirsty, and they're like, "Oh, you're very dehydrated." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. Since I've been here, I've drank 2 small bottles of Pepsi Max that Mum had to get me from the shop. You've given me nothing, not even a jug of water.
Wow.
So no wonder why I'm dehydrated." And they wanted me to stay for an extra 6 hours to have like a drip of, the solutions they give to rehydrate your minerals and stuff. And I was like, well, I could just do this at home and drink my own water, my own time, my own space. My bodies would sort itself out over time. But that was frustrating.
Yeah, it is. It's very frustrating dealing with. The hospital system, GPs. It's a frustrating sort of way to live, unfortunately.
You made a good point earlier about like how they it's almost like they gatekeep the tests, and the only reason why you're going somewhere is to get. I want to know what this intervention is doing in my body right now. Exactly. You don't really necessarily care so much about the other stuff. It's just like, am I doing something wrong? No, yes, okay, I need to change it. But when they intervene, it's sometimes a bit of a problem. It can be a bit because I mean, in my experience, they don't always follow. We have something called the NICE guidelines, which I believe is something like the National Institute of Care Excellence Committee survey. I don't know. Yeah. But it basically means that we have to follow these guidelines. So say you come to me as a doctor, or you come to me and I'm a doctor, and you say, I've got a sore abdomen. Okay, I'm going to give you a test for your liver health. I don't know. You're going to then go for the test. They're going to tell you the results. Then what are you going to do after that? Oh, here's the medication. It's like you might be able to do something better about that yourself. They don't always follow the guidelines. So they have the studies and they say this is the intervention we need to follow to get the best result, but it doesn't always give the best result. And these things, like you said earlier, it's the normative range, and sometimes the intervention they apply could actually be detrimental. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. And like Jad's got a good point here too. Is like her EGF is never over 60, so they don't bother doing anything about the chronic inflammation in the kidneys.
Yeah,
it's just
National Institute of Clinical Excellence. That's what it is. Joe just said. Yeah,
it's crazy, isn't it? It's like they think as long as you're in that normal sort of range, they don't care. It's like everything must be okay. It doesn't work that way. It never works that way. And the same in the opposite, though. If you're not in that normal healthy range, it doesn't mean that there's a problem. It just means that at that time, it's lower than what it might usually be. But like I said too, like I've seen my EGFR and urea tests and all these things, especially for the kidneys and the liver and stuff. I've seen that change within hours. They'll do a morning and afternoon test. When I was in hospital, and that the difference would be huge. So it depends on what you're eating, what you're drinking, and how you prepare and all that sort of stuff. So
yeah.
I started painting a ceiling yesterday. Good job. Without carnivore, breathwork, and cold showers and exercise, this would have it's still been impossible for me. Well, that's good, Laney. I mean, it's good. You're getting your energy back. That's awesome. You know,
I painted the ceiling yesterday as well last night.
in your bedroom.
No, in the kitchen, I made a massive mess.
Oh, okay.
Something basically exploded all over the cupboard. Like,
Oh,
you know, when you
shit.
see sort of like these are comics where like you have a bottle or something, it's gone everywhere, and it's like that. And I was like, oh my god. Yeah, I'm very clumsy, so I try not to do cooking or anything at night.
Yeah.
Just I'm tired. I'm usually on meds at night, like strong meds. Can't concentrate, so
Yeah.
that's why you don't often see me do recording. So it's very unusual if you'd see me on a video when it's your morning time, if that makes sense. It's very rare. So I get asked a lot to do like late 8, 9, 10 o'clock live streams. I'm like, well, I can try, but you're going to be sat here with an absolute mong, basically. Like I'm not really doing much or thinking much.
Yeah. Well, I'm the same too. Like when I get tired, I zone out. It's really hard for me to concentrate. I just gibber, you know, just nothing comes out, nothing really coherent comes out. It's very difficult to concentrate.
Have you thought more about these peptides yet?
No, I've thought about them. Yeah, but I just can't get them here. So
I'd sort you out if I knew a better way. I'll keep finding out. But I don't.
The problem is if you try to import them here, they get confiscated and you get arrested. But it's a bit of a problem. So I'm just gonna have to wait till I go over to Japan maybe. I'll have a look at it.
The SS31 is a good one. The organ protection benefit, especially if you're living with one kidney and what you've been through health wise, I think that would take you quite far. The dosage of that one's 2 milligrams a day.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think that might be a good idea actually. I will look into it. I'll try and find some way to do it, but yeah, we'll see.
Anyway. You're doing a stream with Joff.
Yeah,
tonight.
Friday.
Yeah.
Friday morning. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen him for a while, so that'll be good.
You've been radio silent. He goes through patches where I see his stuff on Instagram, whatever, and I won't hear from him anything. So I don't know. I always want to reach out to him. I don't want to be, overbearing, like nosy sort of thing.
He's pretty busy. I mean, he's still working full time as a nurse as well. That's a bit of a struggle. He's working shifts as well. Works a lot of night shifts, and plus he's got the kids. Takes the kids to school and stuff like that too. So, and plus his wife's pregnant with his third one now. So,
oh wow,
busy.
Yeah, we got BK in the house.
BK, good to see you.
Hello.
Where?
I'm largely here because Jamette said to me in a stream last night she said, Jamette's been raving about you constantly, and she's like, oh yeah, I can't wait to when DC goes live. She loves all your stuff, honestly. So I was like,
she's great, yeah.
And she's saying, oh, I hope when you're next going to do a live TF, I was like, well, he's going to do one tomorrow, and I'm actually free tomorrow morning, so I'll pop on for a bit. So.
Yeah, she's good. She likes the breathwork. I gotta get myself more organized and do some more breathwork videos because it's a lot. I've been doing so much other things at the moment. So
yeah, I had a thought for you. There's I don't know if it's an app or website where you can basically upload a video or a playlist, then it'll just play it all day constantly. So it might be a good way to get some watch hours. So imagine you had a continuous loop of DC's breathwork talks. So I know bodybuilders that do that or health professionals, and they just have 10 hours of videos.
Was it Eddie Goki? He's got that going now. He's got
that
thing going. So yeah, that's not a bad idea. Actually.
Yeah, I think it costs about 30 quid a month. I think so. It's like 60 Aussies. I think something like that.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
I agree, Joe. Yeah, Lenny, you should be proud of yourself. You've done well, mate, and you've done the work, and you keep doing the work, and that's good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Lainey at the meetup this year because I did see her last year, but we didn't get any chance to sort of chat or say much. But I can't wait to meet her and properly and have a chat really.
Yeah.
Same with George. George and I didn't really speak. Like he's so busy. Like he's managing the car park and organise everything. It's hard to catch up with people. On the day when I go to these events, you get swarmed by people because they sort of see you on YouTube, sort of thing. Everyone wants to chat to you, and you're like, I also want to chat to my other people that I've been collaborating with for so long, but I don't often get to like see in person, sort of thing. So when me and Richie get together, we can barely even get a word in with each other because we get it's nice people approach us. I like that, but sometimes you just want to chat to your mate for like 10 minutes.
Yeah. Just having trouble with the chat here at the moment. I can't see any chats. It's all gone away.
Mine went blank when I first came on.
I don't know what's going on.
I can see. Where are we at? Everyone's just saying hi at the moment. No one's really saying much else. If you guys did have any questions, especially while I'm here, just ask away and go for anything you need.
Yeah, definitely. So, this chat's gone weird. I can't see any messages. So, all right.
Lainey just said, "Yay, Jonathan! Can't wait either." Nothing else is really being said.
Okay. Well, I suppose at least the stream's still going.
Jonathan saw a carnival muscle fan at the gym. Yeah. when I was at Joe's gym, a guy came up to me.
Oh, cool.
Quite sort of. He's quite anxious to meet me, and I was like, how to put it? When you meet someone you kind of see in person, you sort of freeze up. He definitely froze.
Yeah.
And I was trying to I'm not the best sort of body language reader or anything, but I was like trying to sort of be more friendly and approachable, like chat to him like a really relaxed sort of tone rather than like, So yeah, he's like, I've been watching all your content and stuff. I'm like, but then I saw him training in the gym, and I was like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, people train however they want to train. I don't really. It's up to them, but yeah, it's nice when you go halfway up the country and someone you never met before is like, oh, I know you. You're on YouTube. I was like, yeah, it's me.
Yeah, that'd be pretty funny, actually. Are you sure you watch my channel?
Yeah. But you think the reality is, I mean, if I've got 15k subscribers or whatever, imagine 40-50% are American. I don't know, 20% are probably from the UK. Yeah. So 20%, what's that? 3,000 people. There's probably about 3,000 people in the country where they will know who I am.
Yeah.
So that's quite. And the chance of me meeting someone in a city, if I just stood in the city centre, is probably quite likely. So.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I just hope they have the courage to come up to me and say hello, because otherwise they just stare at me and I'm like, who the hell are you, sort of thing.
Yeah. It'd be kind of, it's kind of a weird feeling if it's like someone just walks and they start staring at you. They don't have the courage to come and just say hello, sort of thing. This is me. But yeah. Oh, that's good. You're a celebrity.
My first person that I've, sometimes the opposite happens. Like someone, you'll ever hear people chatting in the gym like, oh, I'm doing this like carnivore sort of diet and this and the other. I'm like, I was over here. I was like, oh, you're doing carnivore diet? That's pretty cool. And that's when you think like, oh, they're gonna know who I am, sort of thing. Like, oh, I don't know who the hell you are. I'm like, you don't know who I am, but you know who. I don't know.
Yeah.
Meat-based mama in California is. I'm like, how the fuck does that work?
Yeah, it makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Yeah. Like, what kind of content are you watching? So,
exactly. Yeah, for sure.
I'm heading off in 10 minutes, by the way.
No worries.
Gonna go to town and get my phone.
Sorted. Yeah, well, we're getting up to close to 2 hours anyway, so I think we'll leave it with you when you're ready to go. So, I actually, that kind of reminds me of a story back when I was coaching in Japan. It was really funny, actually. Japanese kids they're so much fun. But I did a session. I did a coaching session and a bit of a talk with a semi-pro basketball team, and for that local area, and they had all these young kids come up and asking me for my autograph. It was hilarious. It's the first time I've ever played, but it was hilarious. Like it's like a row of them. It's like 10 of these kids all lined up. Just because I just sat down and I started talking to friends, and all of a sudden there's this row of little kids. They all come up and they want to get my autograph. I'm like, I didn't even know what to do because like at the time, like I mean, should I give them just my normal signature or what? Or just like because
you got a gold pen with glitter and sparkles on it, and
yes, it was hilarious.
Turn around, us on your back, you know.
Yeah. But that was so much fun, though. Good kids.
Yeah, I think it's important as people. I'm not going to say celebrities, but people on YouTube that have a public image, public figure sort of thing, to make an effort with these people because you know you can make or break their carnivore experience. They might watch all your videos, just be like a silent spectator, and they meet you and they think, "Oh, this guy's a bit of an arsehole." And you're like, it might actually detract them from the diet itself. So you lost a potential.
That's right. I mean, not just the diet, but the whole community. Like if that's what they like, you know, if that's what if you're or coaching or sports or whatever you're talking about or whatever they are sort of getting out of it, you know. So you can really give them a negative sort of reaction that way. Is like it'll just turn them off the whole thing, you know. So I think it's but it's not hard to be polite either. You know, it's easy just to say, yeah, sure, yeah, you know, and be polite to someone, you know.
Yeah. I just relate to how it's been when I've met like pro bodybuilders, and half the time I think, oh, that is a really nice guy. He spent all this time chatting to me, and he's got a massive queue, and he still made the effort. Like I wasn't just like another person in the queue for him. And other times I've had like, there's a bodybuilder called Sean Roden. I was at this expo which had basically no one in it. It was like dead, like an absolute flop. And this guy was like going off all the time. I think he was going to do drugs or something around the corner. This bodybuilder. I was asking where he was like exhibiting like his sponsor or whatever. Oh, when's Sean coming back? And you know, back in a minute. He's just gone for lunch. Okay, I went back about half an hour there. And then he wasn't there, and I came back a few more times. Then he was eventually there, and when I spoke to him, he's just like looking around, like not talking to me. Like I'm literally the only person this whole exhibition who's bothered to come and approach you. Yeah. You can't give me 5 minutes of your day, sort of thing. I hated that. It really put a bad taste in my mouth. I don't want the same experience as someone else because it does hurt you a bit, you know.
Well, it does. I mean, like, they look at you, or they don't, not making any eye contact, not even looking at you, sort of thing. They don't even acknowledge that you're there, you know, like you're nothing, sort of thing. You know, so that's just damn rude, is what it is, you know. And it's just sort of anyone that thinks that, I think that time is the most precious thing that we all have. It is the one thing. And it's if anyone is generous enough to spend any amount of time with you, okay, to go out of their way to spend their time with you, that is like one of the best gifts that you can ever receive, I think. You know, and if they can't even acknowledge that, I think that's just the height of rudeness, you know. It is it's despicable, actually. So I think that be present in that moment with someone who has taken the time to come and see you, okay, is the least you can do, you know. So
sometimes it can work. You can backfire a bit because at the meetup last year, I had about 30-40 people approach me. I don't know the numbers, but I imagine there's about 200 people total, roughly.
Yeah.
The only bad bit was we're going from the barn where the talks were held. Then we're going, and I was trying to get to the toilet, like a public, portaloo sort of thing. And it took me about 45 minutes just to get there, and it's about 20 meters away. I was like, I was actually standing up, bursting to get to the top. I was like, I don't want I was like, I really need to get to the toilet, and I was like, and sometimes you get people where they sort of almost cut the queue a bit. So I'm speaking to someone, they're asking about coaching something, and they say they coach me, like just approach me out of the blue, like, oh, Jonathan, where'd you get your eggs from? I'm like, I'm the autistic one here. This isn't how this works. I'm meant to be the awkward one, not you.
You know? Yeah, exactly. No, that's right. You have to have your limitation. I mean, like obviously, if you need to go to the toilet, obviously just say, look, I've got to go to the toilet. I will be back. Just give me 5 minutes and I'll come back, sort of thing. But
yeah,
I mean, you gotta limit people's time as well. You can't sit there and stand there and talk to one person for half an hour, especially if you got like a stream of people waiting to talk to you, sort of thing. And then when you get people like that breaking in line, sort of thing, that just upsets other people as well. So you bet
you don't want to tell the other person, oh, get in the queue, sort of thing, because it makes you seem, oh, I'm more high and mighty, sort of thing. But at the same time, you want to make sure the person that is waiting patiently, they get their time of day as well.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with saying, look, sorry, mate, but these people were here before you. Have a bit of consideration for everyone. That's just, you have to have, all society, you have to have limitations, right? Otherwise, because some people are always going to take advantage, and some people are always going to try and push those limitations as far as they can go. So there's nothing wrong with setting guidelines. We always need guidelines.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to my talk anyway. I'm gonna try and make it as helpful as possible, because I'm going to talk a bit about exercise, a bit about pain, a bit about like just biohacking in general. Because I think we I want to deliver something a bit different to what everyone else is doing. So
yeah,
Rich is going to be talking about biochemistry while we eat, the carnivore diet, and Dr. Ab's probably talking a bit about, I don't know, something.
Yeah,
whatever his sort of talk will be. Then I'm trying to think who else is there. There's a couple of other people. Yeah, I kind of want my experience is very different to other people. It's quite unique, so I kind of want to make sure that is upheld in a way, so I can give people information if they're in a similar situation to me, where I think that's useful. I've saved quite a bit of money here. So I actually, when I wasn't on the carnivore diet, I was following these channels on YouTube where they review different foods, like at the shops and stuff. I actually found this stuff interesting because they're telling me, "Oh, I bought this and bought this. This was actually better and it's cheaper." You give something useful, practical people actually do.
Yeah.
Oh, George said, Jonathan, it's going to be the same at this year's meetup, but at least we all have kilts. Rich and Abs there to soak up some of the attention. Yeah, that'll be good. Yeah, that's a bit of relief. If it spreads out a bit, because if you've got like an all-star cast in a sense of people, being carnivore for years, or people that have been, lots of followers, sort of thing, it does take the pressure off a bit. So yeah, I mean, Richard had to defer a few people to me to speak to because he had to go and sort something out. And a guy was asking about testosterone. I'm like, well, Richard's a natural athlete. I'm not, so he sort of deferred them onto me to sort of speak about this sort of stuff. But it's we just try and be helpful, I guess.
Well, I mean, think about your experience though too. Like, they're all great. They've all got. I mean, they've got great knowledge and everything. But you're still one of the best nutritionists in the world at the moment as well. But you have a very different experience to them as well. Like Dr. Kiltz, Richard, Dr. Abs. Like they're great guys, all of them, but they don't have the experience that you have. So you could talk about that. You can talk about
that's the goal, I think.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can put the science behind it because you've got that science background as well. So you could talk about, this is my experience and this is the science behind it, sort of thing. Because they can't talk about that. That's another way to go.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Dr. Abs, Rich, and Dr. Kilt as well. Like, they could probably all talk about cancer, even for example, right?
Yeah.
But they can't tell someone from a patient's point of view.
The empathy side of obviously they can emphasize, but when you've done it and lived it yourself, like in your example, it's like it feels more. It feels there's a deeper connection, I guess.
Well, there's proof. Like I have the proof that
proof concept. Yeah.
They all. I mean, if they come across and start talking about, okay, carnivore diet works for cancer because of this, and this sort of thing. That's just words. And I mean, unless you actually experience it, rebuild yourself and come back from that. These are experiences that they can't sort of bring across and can't give you as proof. Whereas with my experience, I could offer them the proof. This is what I did. This is why I'm still in remission. This was like an incurable, inoperable, I was dead, basically.
Same with Andrew, isn't it? I mean,
yeah, exactly.
You and Andrew have got a very, very unique experience compared to a lot of people.
Yeah.
But when you actually speak to both of you guys, both of you are the most biohacked people I've probably come across. Like people that you dare not try these things because you know what it is to feel like terrible.
Yeah.
So you can actually apply these things on a serious level. Like, I mean, you're wearing your blue blockers right now.
Yeah.
You're wearing, sensible sort of clothing that's not going to disrupt your endocrine system. So you're thinking more detail about things. But yeah, I mean, we've all got something valuable to deliver. I mean, George, for example, he was. You see the bloke. He's quite a small built chap. Like quite slender sort of thing. You never would have thought he weighed X amount and had, I don't know, diabetes or whatever. You wouldn't have pictured it. You sort of see the guy and you're like, that's. I think he said on his business card his business card was his name, whatever, and it's before and after. It's like, there we go.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So, I mean, it's good that you can give them, the science, the nutrition, everything like that. But, the other three guys, they're all going to do that anyway, So what people want really is lived experience, proof that it actually works. They don't want to just be told, okay, this is how it works, sort of thing. But tell them your experience. Tell them this is my problems. This is what I was dealing with. This is what I'm still dealing with. But this is how I manage it, and this is the science behind it. So I mean, you can do.
Yeah, I can ramble about anything. Nowadays, I mean, my content now is basically using StreamYard, intro and outro are automatically in there. Me just rambling for 15-20 minutes straight about whatever topic, like the GLP-1 video. Like, it didn't take me any preparation, just off the cuff info with a few bullet points.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to bugger off anyway.
All right, mate.
Yeah, George has just put on the chat the actual speakers on the day. So Angela Lero, Coach Juliet, and Angela Mullins, Lainey, Louise, Lauren, Duncan, Carl, and everyone in the public as well.
Okay, yeah. We'll also have
such a vast array of people. Yeah.
Angela Mullins from the USA, and Lainey, Louise, Lauren, Duncan Smart, Carl Day to be our public face. Okay. It'll be
1 week after my show as well. So I'll be shredded out of my mind.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Awesome, mate. Yeah. All right, mate. Well, thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. Always a great chat.
Always a great chat. Yeah, I try and hop on these as much as I can, wherever I can. I'm grateful that you host these sort of things and people obviously see value in it. I mean, just look at the like to view ratio, guys. So you can see the guys, obviously, DC knows what he's talking about. If you haven't hit like yet, please do. Help it spread the information, the word, because these sort of things are very community based, but I think DC can definitely build upon this. Proof's in the pudding. So definitely check his stuff out and join as a member on his channel as well. Like £1, you can watch something like 80 plus members videos, which is insane. It's like a course on how to do it.
87 now. Yeah.
That's
actually, that's not a bad idea. I think about doing a course actually. So
I'd sign up. Yeah, I'd sign up.
Yeah. All right, man. Thanks for that. You have a good day.
Cheers, and you.
Again soon, eh?
Yeah, definitely. All right, take care, guys. Cheers.
You, mate. Cheers. Always good to have Jonathan on. Brilliant young guy. So, one of the nicest guys too. So, honestly, Lenny, I was close to tears. Yeah, it's like that, isn't it, Joe? Like kids can be great. It made my day. It reminded me how lucky I am still to be here. Yeah, it does. To get experiences like that. When these kids actually lined up for me, I was blown away. Actually, I mean, it's always fun to. it's a great experience for me living in Japan anyway. But the kids are just so much fun. They're really well behaved and just sweetest kids, honestly. Yeah, they're adorable. Oh yeah, we'll also have. It's going to be a great meetup. Looking forward to it. Yeah, I wish I was going. Actually, it sounds like it'd be a great event. Actually, so my before and after photos on my card, cards are the best tool in my toolbox for making people pay attention. Yeah, yeah. No, it's a good idea, actually, George. It certainly grabs people's attention, doesn't it? Yeah. See, Johnson, not Johnson. So, all right, guys. So, if you have any more questions, let them fire. I'll give you another 5 minutes. We'll round it up to the 2 hours, make it even. If not, I mean, you're also welcome to join the chat if you wish. Let me see. Here is the link again. I'll give that for you here. You're more than welcome to join. It's all good. My grandchildren only line up if I have chocolate. Yeah. You gotta bribe them. You gotta bribe them. Yeah. That's fair enough. Yeah. But yeah, it's such a great experience. Like when I was going through talking about in Japan again, like the earthquake. Driving home when I finally picked up my wife in the city because she was at work and the building was pretty much, it looked like it was going to come down. But I picked her up and I picked up her friends, two of her friends, and one of her friends. We had to go to a school nearby to pick up her kids. They're the sweetest kids. They're really good friends of ours, and we still visit them every year. Young girl, she's just one of the sweetest kids. I just adore this kid. But when we're going through the earthquake, the one morning we had been, okay, it was freezing cold, like it was in the minus temperatures. It had been snowing the night before, and we were waiting in line for hours early in the morning at a water truck. One of the trucks, the emergency trucks, that was bringing drinking water around for people. And I was just using an old protein tub at the time to fill up with water to take back to the house for the whole family to drink, right? Because it was me, my wife, her mother, and her grandmother that we were trying to find food and water for. And like I just spent like about 2 hours in the freezing bloody cold waiting to fill up this tub with water. And it was slippery, and as I went to put it, my hands were cold, and when I went to put it in the basket on the bicycle, I dropped the bottle, I dropped the tub, and the tub broke, and the water just went everywhere. So the only thing I got out of it was wet feet. Right? I was so pissed off. I was really pissed off. But the truck had just ran out of water. I didn't have another container anyway, so there was nothing I could do about it. Just wasted a few hours. That was our water for the day. So the next best thing we could do is just go try and find another supermarket that might have some food waiting out in the car park for us to buy, maybe. And I was pretty pissed off about this. So me and my wife, we got back on the bicycles. We rode to our next stop, which was the supermarket. And her friend and her daughter were waiting there. And she was really shy. She was really shy. Didn't want to speak very much. But she, such a sweet kid. As soon as she kind of treated me like I was one of her friends. And she invited me back to her house to, go, play with her friends and all this sort of stuff. It was funny as hell. But we were waiting there, and she decided she wanted to sit up on my shoulders. Didn't want to say much, but she wanted to sit up on my shoulders while we're waiting for these people to bring food out so that we could buy. But it just it's amazing. Like, kids, their energy can just sort of flip that switch. You go from like an angry, I was upset about the water sort of thing, but from that, like, it was just a great day after that. We just had some fun, and kids are great. So it was really cool. Yeah. Hey, Josephine. Sorry. How you been, Josephine? Annabella? How's everything going? I feel a bit down from the stress, needing to move. Yeah. Uh, well, I'll send you hugs, Annabella. I'll send you some hugs. Okay? Hugs. It's hard. It really is tough. Especially, the situation that we're in Australia at the moment, everything that's going on, the price of everything going up so much, and they just want to keep charging us more. It's a really crap situation, mate. And all I can do is wish you luck. I hope you find somewhere to live very soon, because I know it's very difficult. Um, yeah, Annabelle House. Hey, thank you, Lenny. Love you guys. Yeah, we all love you too, Annabelle. Yeah. Thanks again, Jonathan. Really appreciate that, mate. Always good to have a good chat. Yeah, kids are a blessing, Annabella. They really are. They can, turn your whole day around. They're so sweet. Yeah, until they get, grow up, unfortunately. Yeah, I guess. Oh, I had a flare up with pain. Even though I've been strict with carnival. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't fix everything. You're still going to have to go through those, that we still get those flare ups, don't you? Well, I hope it, I mean, I think, that could be a stress thing too, the flare ups when you get stressed, you get tired, your immune system gets run down as well. Like, when I was not long out of treatment as well, I would get, psoriasis flare ups, I'd get, because immune system gets run down, you get stressed and so on. Even though I was pretty much eating pretty well, it's just, stress can do some pretty big things to your body, really, especially with your immune system and pain threat, pain activation and so on like that. So, yeah, it's difficult, Annabelle. I feel for you. Yeah, did a fast over the weekend. Good. Mm. Yeah, it's good. I've been moving more with packing. Oh, yeah, that can be a problem as well too, can't it? And there's the stress. I mean, obviously you're more active because you got to pack everything, you got to get everything like that. So that might be a problem with your pain flare up as well. But stress will activate pain, like pain signals and things like that, or flare ups and so on as well. You'll get it will lower your immune system and as well. So these are things you need to stay on top of as well. Try and regulate it as much as you can. I know it's very difficult, I find as well, when you are in a stressful situation. It's really difficult to try and stick to a routine, especially when you're trying to move house, because there is something outside of your routine, your regular routine, that you're trying to get done. So it's really difficult, I found, to stick to your, like, whatever routine you do, like your biohacks and stuff like that, like your ice bars or breathing or so on and so on. But it's actually the most important time to do it. It's really, you know, I know when you especially when you're stressed like that, for in that situation, it's not really the first thing you want to do when you get up. You start stressing about it as soon as you wake up. You think, oh, well, I've got to do this, got to do that, and you think you've got to get into it now, sort of thing. But try and remind yourself, just take 20 minutes and calm your nervous system first, and that will make actually the rest of the day go a lot easier and probably a lot faster anyway. So, because it actually, I mean, I know what it feels like though. You don't want to do it or stick to your routine sort of thing, but it's actually the most important time to do it. I had some beef fat trimmings. Nice. Maybe 19 hours into the fast. Okay, not bad. Doing craft. Oh, that's good. That's good. Craft is great. I like making things as well. Like if you've probably seen some of the miniature stuff that I make. Yeah, doing craft is kind of like a meditation. Because you are diverting, or you're giving yourself a distraction from thinking about everything else. So I find it's very much like a meditation. And for me, I've always found meditating very difficult because I have ADHD, especially outside of breathwork, because it's breathwork is a perfect segue to get into a meditative state, because you bring yourself into that calm nervous state. But to stay in that area without the breathing sort of thing is very difficult. Whereas craft, making things, you're concentrating on this one thing. You forget about everything else, which is exactly what meditating is. It's about focusing, honing in on one singular thing and forgetting everything else. So craft is a good thing to be doing while you're in a stressful state like that, Annabella. So it's a good idea. Calms you down. That's good. Yeah, need to pace myself better. Yeah. If I'm making sure I do diamond pattern. Painting. Okay. If I'm making sure I do diamond painting. Yeah, good idea. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah, we love doing that actually with my wife and I. The Christmas decorations that we make, and but she uses polymer clay and stuff like that to for a lot of that stuff, like that, the little gingerbread man and stuff like that. I like making the little wooden bird houses, where there's miniature bird houses about this big, this sort of, with tiles and stuff like that for the Christmas tree. But I find it gives the tree that rustic look, and plus you feel really good because it's a handmade. Like you don't go and buy this store-bought sort of stuff. You make them yourself. I think it gives it more meaning, So I sing praise music today. Saying praise music. Good. Yeah, that's right. Like anything that you do like that, like crafting or singing, or where you are focusing in on one thing, like I said before, you're distracting yourself from everything else that's going on. It's very, very much a meditative thing, So it's a good thing, keep yourself going like that. Yeah, keeps you on top of things. That's good. Try you should, Annabelle. You should try making some little decorations. It's not that hard. It's not that difficult at all. It can be very time consuming. Actually, I find with ADHD, you get what's called time blindness. But sometimes when you're concentrating on something, you're making something miniature like that, it can take you all day doing it, sort of thing. But the time just goes so fast. I mean, it does for me anyway, because you're really enjoying that sort of thing, Oh, a little possum is good. Little possum is good. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. It is an accomplishment, It does. It's very satisfying to make something and see the end result. It's always good to see it. I mean, that's why, health journeys. When you're on a health journey, and you see improvements, and you take note of those improvements, it's very satisfying. It's any kind of improvement or any sort of level that you get to, for example. It's very satisfying, and that's what motivates you to go to that next step, yeah. So that's why it's important for people to sort of, you don't have to celebrate so much, but acknowledge those steps, acknowledge those improvements, because that will motivate you to get to the next one. Anyway, I'm going to have to leave it there because it's been a little bit over 2 hours, and I have a few things to do before I get not off to bed. And so, thank you everyone for joining me tonight. And it was a great chat, actually, catching up with Jonathan again. A lot of good information there. So if you haven't already, I'm sure you all are, subscribed and watch Jonathan's channel. But if not, you should go check it out. Again, one of the best nutritionists in the world, and you can get a lot of great information. Yes, that is exactly right, Annabella. Slow and steady wins the race, always. Okay, about consistency that gets you there. All right, it's not a sprint. It's a marathon. All right. So I will say good night, and hope you all have a great day or night wherever you are. And thank you all for joining me. And we'll see you again very soon. We will be live again on Friday and Saturday morning. Okay, so take care.